it's your boy AncientAlbatross here again, flying solo, here to talk about the Entropic Isle, which is in its final hour. Before we get things going though, be sure to follow us here on Twitch and subscribe to us over on YouTube. It is a great help for our channel, and we really appreciate all the support we've gotten so far. But yeah, without further ado, let's just start talking. I don't really have any notes or anything. If anyone's out there in the audience who wants to ask me some questions, by all means go ahead. If not, I'm going to wax philosophically about my experience thus far with the project. Because it has been a wild ride. Yeah, but let's take a look at the stats real fast. Got 188 backers at the moment, 58 minutes left, 5711 made out of the 3,000 I wanted. So crushed our goal. I'm actually quite excited with how we did. Even if we don't end up hitting that 6K at the end, this has been a hell of a success in my eyes, and I am very much looking forward to making this book and making it happen. Yeah, it's been a time. It's been a huge learning process in all aspects that pertain to this. I've basically been doing all this by myself, with some help obviously, but the core of it, yeah, I'm basically doing alone. But when I do need help in certain aspects or areas, I did reach out and ask questions and get some advice from some people. But yeah, from beginning to end, almost end, well, kind of almost end. The campaign's at an end, but book's not at an end yet. But from beginning to somewhat end, I've learned a great deal about a lot of stuff. I got started with this idea maybe a year or so ago, maybe a year and a half. It's been, time flies. I had looked at my chat history with some friends, and I was checking like when I started talking about it like seriously, and yeah, it's over a year ago. So yeah, definitely a lot of time and thought has gone into this project, this book. I'm pretty excited about the ideas I have in there. Some of y'all out there have seen it already, seen some of it or most of it, depending on who you are. Yeah, but one of the main things I've been enjoying learning is, again, layout stuff. I haven't actually done any layout in a while because I've been focusing on the Backerkit stuff. Kind of hard. It's all a lot of processes working together. Yeah, and it's, again, a lot to handle for one person. But either way, layout has been a lot of fun to learn, and I can thank KedHub and Erg, or Rob of Erg regardless, for the advice they've given me in those regards. I've learned a ton from them, and the book is going to look amazing thanks to them, and in huge parts to them, with their advice and whatnot. And especially KedHub, thank you for the edits, like the gaming type editing you gave my playtest document. It was very appreciated, and yeah, it's gonna make for a much nicer experience. Another huge learning process was just writing in general. How to write for a project of this size instead of my usual like couple sentences for a one shot. It's been fun learning how to like compartmentalize what you're working on and having the different parts sorted out. I ended up doing it by chapter was the best way for me. Maybe that's the best way for everyone, but I worked on chapters individually, and then I laid out a basic structure, and as I've been going, the book's 95% done at this point. As I've been going, and this again, my personal, what I've learned about myself, I can, when I get the urge to work on a section, I'll work on that section. And that's worked out for me. When a section's complete, I feel satisfied, and then I need to know, I know personally I need to work on these other sections that are incomplete. And again, that was that drive. Hey, that's incomplete. What do I feel like working on today? Oh, I really feel like working on archetypes today. So that's what I've fleshed out. Or the setting needs touching up. I worked on that. Yeah, it's definitely been a process. Been a lot of fun, quite honestly, and I've learned some interesting miscellaneous skills as well. One day a couple days ago, actually, maybe a week ago. I felt a little overwhelmed with the writing and, thinking about the Backerkit and all that. So I decided to take my random tables from the Entropic Isle and learn how to do a little bit of coding in Visual Basic. So then I took those tables and I made a little program that randomizes a character for you, or randomizes an adventure, or randomizes a monster, or NPC. I think those are the four I included, and it looks pretty nice. It came out pretty good. I don't know if I'm gonna like what you call it, distribute it or anything, because it's not of a professional quality or anything like that. Just, I literally took 8 hours or maybe 7 hours of the day, maybe 6, I don't know, 6 to 8 hours, and from beginning to end, I have no coding knowledge information, and I taught myself through asking friends, YouTube videos, and asking ChatGTP, or chat whatever the abbreviation is. I used it as sort of like a textbook you could talk to answer my questions about how to proceed. And then I had a friend, Mohammed, if you're watching this or watch this at some point, you're awesome, thank you. He went, I got stuck at a point and I couldn't figure out, I forget what part of the process I was stuck on. But talking to him made me realize the mistakes I was making. He showed me a couple of videos and he said, have you tried this? Have you tried that? And yeah, and I figured it out thanks to him, and then I was able to proceed, and yeah, that was an awesome, fun day of learning. That again, it's kind of a sidetrack, wasn't really associated with the book or anything, kind of because I use the tables, but yeah, this has really made me want to learn how to do more things, so to speak. Like, I get the urge to make videos, like you see, I learned how to make the use the video editor DaVinci to make that little ad I made. That has like the my voiceover that's edited with a I used Audacity, and I edited how the voice is distorted to sound like that. And yeah, it was a lot of fun learning that stuff too. So yeah, another thing this whole campaign project has shown me is I'm really enjoying like learning stuff again. Like I didn't do too great in school. I was not a great student by any means at all. I didn't go to college, went for a year, maybe half a year. But in the classes that I really enjoyed learning, or what sparked my interest, I did well in those classes, like aces very well, with lacking everywhere else. So what this has shown me, if I have a genuine interest in a thing, and it's again something I want to learn, I can actually sit down and do it and learn it, and it's actually achievable. And that's been a really, really nice feeling. Being able to look back at this past month, or I guess the month since the Backerkit has started, or I guess even longer than that, because I had to pre-plan, get things ready. But everything I've learned in the process was, I'm going to be able to use these skills going forward, and it's taught me that I enjoy learning these things. It's been a blast learning how to put videos together, slightly more edited, not like a simple Twitch stream, copy paste, put it on YouTube. But like actually making a video, and what you call it, and oh, thanks for the follow, Sigil. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Hey, welcome. Hopefully you can stick around for a little while, but no biggies if you can't. But yeah, it's been a great learning experience, and I really appreciate all the stuff I've learned, even the incidental stuff, again, like the video making, and how to get a Backerkit set up, and what else did I say? And the programming out of nowhere, coding. I learned some Visual Basics just because of this, and that was a lot of fun. Yeah, it's been an adventure. It's been an adventure and a half, I will say that. But yeah, like I said, we got 49 minutes left now. That thing should update real time, and I believe it has been. Again, it is what it is. I'm not too worried if we don't hit the 6K. The book's gonna be stellar regardless. But I kind of want to show off that little thing I made. I wonder how hard that would be. Once, I don't care if it covers my face, but I'm gonna try to pull it up because I'm pretty proud of it. Like, for one day of work with absolutely zero programming knowledge, I think I made a pretty good thing. Let's see if I can pull it up. Here it is. Release. Is it gonna work? Hey, it's working. Let me see if I can pull it up. Window capture. Yeah, there we go. I don't care if it covers my face. We can cover my face for a little while, doesn't matter. But yeah, look, it has 4 sections. You can generate a character, adventure, creature, or an NPC. And again, I learned how to do all this in a day, like 6 to 8 hours I spent doing it. It's Visual Basic, and I did it within Visual Studio 2022. Again, I'm just learning this stuff, so I don't know. But yeah, look, you could generate a character. You can scroll down a little bit if there's too much information. You can copy the stuff onto whatever format you want. If you need to copy it to a sheet, you can, or just read it and put it on a sheet. And yeah, you could just keep generating characters. Blah 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 blah. You can also generate an adventure. Doesn't look super pretty because again, I did this really quickly, and it got to a point where it was functional, and I didn't really care too much if it looked super duper pretty. But I think it looks pretty enough as is. Maybe this text could be centered, but that's probably the only gripe I have right now. But yeah, generate creatures, generate adventure, generate NPCs. Probably add a name part here or something. Always like the reason I didn't even think about adding names was I like either coming up with a name myself on the fly or having the group name it like a random NPC we happen across. Like I would be like, hey, you come across this humble, disruptive guy who seems to be staring off into the distance. His name is, and I'll motion to the group. But then always, again, if they don't have anything or anything to suggest, I'll have a thing on deck to name them. But yeah, let's get rid of that. That was a lot of fun to learn how to do, like a ton of fun. Yeah, if anyone again who sees this now or sees this on YouTube, back the Entropic Isle and would like that program, just let me know on Discord. I'm more than happy to share it. But I don't know if I'm gonna just like put it out there publicly. Maybe if I make it look a little prettier, and make it so that it doesn't warn people's computers that hey, this might be malicious, because it's just a plain .exe. There's no, I don't know how to verify my program to show that it's legit or whatever. All that mattered to me is that it functioned and it was legible. You could read what the information was being displayed to you. But that was a lot of fun to learn how to do. And again, this whole experience has been quite a blast. Like it's been awesome. Everyone's been so supportive, and the community has been awesome in this time. Showing their support by either backing or just giving me words of support. Like it's been awesome. Especially there's a little incident where the amount we had went down, but it went back up because someone in the community said, hey, we just hit that stretch goal, let's get it back, and then increase their pledge. And that was really nice to see, because there was a worry like, hey, we just broke the 5K one, should I announce that we're gonna make the assets? Should I actually waited like a day and a half or something, or 2 days before being like, hey, we broke the stretch goal. And then lo and behold, like an hour later, someone had retracted their pledge and dropped us underneath 5K. But our lovely community was awesome and got us back up there. I believe that was Bert. I could be wrong. Oh, I'm so bad at remembering people's names. I'm actually gonna go look on a server right now. But yeah, the community has just been fantastic. Oh, thank you, Zeal, and thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Like I said, this thing has been an absolute blast. Learning experience wise, it's been phenomenal. I don't know if how much you heard earlier, but I was on a little rant about everything I learned doing this, or have been learning doing this, and how it's reignited a passion for learning things I'm actually interested in. Yeah, it's been wonderful. Oh, so then you missed this. Wait. So I'm gonna go back a little bit because again, I'm super proud of this, and I don't know if anybody freaking heard that live. So we're gonna go back. So again, it's been a huge learning process. Been learning a lot of stuff. Talked about layout, talked about writing in general. But one random thing that was fun was, oh yeah, no, it's messed up. I need to re-dye it and get a haircut. It's all messed up. But thank you. But what I was getting at was, yeah, learning all this stuff has been amazing. But one day, like either a week ago or a couple days ago, I forget. I was feeling a little bit overwhelmed with the book stuff and the Backerkit stuff and, everything involving, producing this. So I was like, you know what I've been wanting to do and learn? I want to learn how to code a random generator just because I know I have all my tables. So it was kind of related to the book, but it wasn't specific because I already had all that stuff written. I wanted to learn how to just make a regular .exe that would do that for me. Just something very simple that I could use for solo play, which is, again, it's going to be amazing for solo play. And I spent 6 to 8 hours doing it, and it was amazing, and I did it, and I learned through ChatGTP, YouTube, and friends. Mostly my friend Mohammed. Another shout out to you, Moham. He was able to get me from one step to another step that I couldn't figure out. And yeah, I was able to make this bad boy. Let me go back to it. So you can generate characters. You got your pools. It tells you to check the document for the skills and abilities. Gives you your bad habit. Gives you your random skills. All this is your whole character right here. This is everything you start with. And it all adheres to the tables present in the book. Same thing for the adventure side. You could randomly generate your seed. Same thing for the creature. Randomly generate a guy. And then also an NPC. Didn't put names. I did this in one day. I did that in one day. I made this in one day from zero coding knowledge. Zero. Yeah, like I made a huge emphasis on this earlier. This whole experience has ignited a learning fire. I was never a good student in school, like horrible, like bad, but the topics I had interest in, which were usually English or later in college philosophy. I only took college courses for 1 year, so like 2 philosophy classes. But I always aced English and writing, and I always aced my philosophy courses. I did well in them, I should say. And it just harks back to, if I have a deep interest in what I'm learning, I'm gonna learn how to do it or learn about it or whatever have you. Just like this whole, I kind of brute forced this whole campaign. I had advice and whatnot from people here and there, but I did all this by myself. I did not do as much research as I should have, quite honestly. But it's been a blast, learning all this stuff and, executing it and whatnot. Yeah, passion is power for sure. At least when it comes to me, anyway. But yeah, I learned all that. And hey, other doc, thank you for stopping by. The last 40 minutes actually. But yeah, it was a blast learning that stuff, and I want to do more coding, but I don't know what I would do. I could probably get more random generator type stuff on there maybe, but what'd you call it? Let me show it again. I don't know if I'm just so proud of it. I made this character generator and creature generator, adventure and NPC generator in a day, 6 to 8 hours work time, with a mix of YouTube, ChatGTP, and my friend Mohammed giving me advice. Mohammed helped me for like maybe, I would say 30 minutes to an hour of that time total. He came towards the like 3/4 of the way through, I'd say. And I had a lot of help, or I just needed a lot of help getting from one point to another point, and once I was past that, it was a wrap. I understood things. It was amazing. Oh, that's a cool idea. Have a stream and let people decide what kind of generators we make. I do have, what I could add on here though is, if we look at the book, I should probably pull that up too. Let me just make this invisible. I do have a thing for random enchantments. So I have a list of 20 enchantments that you can spend XP to, you know, and get pay or whatever, find an enchanted weapon. And a generator could generate, you know, any number of those. Like, I have it set as either 1 enchantment, 2, or 3. And it'd be very easy, you know, to say, you know, set that it's like a weak, normal, and strong enchantment. Yeah, there'd be a lot of things to add to it. I after those 8 or so hours and having all that done, I was like, okay, I got my creative Jones out. You know, outside of working on the book, I needed to do something other than work on the book. So I was like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna learn to code for a second. And once I got it to that workable point, I was like, okay, I can take a break now. It's break time. Yeah, it was kind of crazy. Oh, I have that open on my phone, actually. I actually have that open on my phone. I haven't actually looked at it thoroughly, but I do have it on my phone. I have like 4 or 5 different tabs open like that, like generators. So I have the GM Apprentice, you know, website that I use for solo play open. I have, I think it's called Glum Dark, the Solo Dark, or the Shadow Dark solo rules, maybe. Either way, I have some Shadow Dark solo thing open, another Shadow Dark solo thing open that's just tables, I believe, and then that thing, the donjons. Just in case, I have them open. I haven't looked at them, I haven't used them at all yet. I have them open just in case, because that's the kind of guy I am. If I ever get the like slight twitch or Jones to be like, I need to do some solo play, I just gotta whip up my phone and open the browser, and all that shit's right there and ready. Yeah, and again, welcome, Sigil. I forget what else I have like as far as random tables go in the book. Like, I know one of the setting areas has like a random mutations area, like a random mutations table, I should say. The beginning of the end, the boat. I showed that one off in the Backerkit preview. Honestly, I'm drawing blanks because again, I'm all like it's been a day and a half. If you've looked at the Discord server at all today, you know we've dropped the CypherCon player signups, and if you're interested in that, definitely join the Discord and look at that on the CypherCon channel. It's in the pinned message there. We got the player signups live. And I've only put it on there so far. I believe MCG either has posted it or will post it soon online, but I wanted to give the Discord community like first crack at signing up to be players, you know, people who are already on the Discord and have been waiting, you know. But yeah, if you're interested in that, definitely go check it out. But yeah, with dropping that link, and then there were several issues pointed out with the link that had to be addressed. And I accidentally pinged the whole server by @verified role. I was trying to just tell someone they needed to be verified, and I thought it is disabled in the options to not ping that role, but since I'm a mod, I bypassed that. And that was funny. I did funny. So Zeal, I'm gonna be straight up. I always like to be fully transparent. The slots for CypherCon were 4-hour blocks. I'm gonna be again 100% open honest. I start fizzling out like 2.5 hours in. This is a truth I've come to learn about myself, come to know. 2.5, 3 hours in, I'm fading. I want to be done with it. Like, just do something else, right? This is why I love solo play. I can sit down, play however much I want, and then step away, do something else, come back to it. It doesn't, it doesn't. I will say it doesn't. It depends on the game, obviously. If I'm playing, like, this is an extreme circumstance. I'm playing in a game with a new GM, new people I've never played with, and I'm just not vibing with them. I obviously want that time to be over ASAP. But if it's people I know, people I enjoy, 3 hours, 4 hours is actually okay. KetHub ran his game for like 3.5 hours. I believe it was 3.5 hours. We just wrapped his modern post-apocalyptic with some magic-y elements campaign. It was about 6 to 8 sessions, I believe. And those games were about 3.5 hours. That is a sweet spot. 3.5 hours, 3 hours, 3.5 hours. That's chef's kiss. When I'm not the GM, when I'm the player. Because when there's downtime, when it's not my turn, I can listen to what's going on, and Ketup can attest to this, or anyone who's in any of my games. I can listen to what's going on, or, me as a player. I listen and I draw something, or I don't know. It's usually drawing, quite honestly. I'll doodle something. Either what's going on in the game, or just something that's on my mind. I'll just doodle. And that keeps me going. As the GM, it's a lot rougher to be 4 hours deep, even with a break in the middle, or even like it feels a little excessive to take a break every hour. But like, again, I've had 4 hour games where it goes by in a flash, and I'm happy I've done it. Like 4.5, 5 hour games, whatever. It's happened, but like when I really like sit down and go to like think about how I feel about it, I start losing steam, quite honestly. And again, that's just me. If you can run 4 hour games, 6 hour games, 16 hour games, more power to you. But yeah, like I found that my sweet spot is like 2.5 hours, like maybe 3, maybe if like we need to tie up loose ends, whatever. And again, KetHub's, I think it was 3.5. That was great as a player, but me as a GM, I it's rough, man. So to go back to answering your question, I might run Entropic Isles off the book, so to speak, during the con. During hours where we have enough mods that are handling things, I might say, hey, who wants to play a game? Who hasn't been able to play a game? Are you interested in a pickup game of the Entropic Isle? We're going to play for 2.5 hours. Meet me in so-and-so channel. Because committing to 4 hours, and then on top of that, helping run the convention, and then it just gets to be a lot. And I always like to be very transparent. It's hard for me to like focus on a lot of things at the same time. Like I said, with the Entropic Isle, the whole campaign, and having to do all this stuff at the same time, it's been a challenge. But I've learned what I'm good at, what I would probably like in the future, like off-put to someone else if I could afford it. You know what I mean? I will say though, everything is, again, as flustering as it was pretty manageable. I would say the thing I flubbed the biggest was probably like marketing. I didn't really post anywhere. I didn't make a ton of videos. I did a few solo plays. And again, I don't know if I've said this on camera actually. I didn't want to suffer from success. That is definitely a thing that could happen. I'm not prepared to have a 800, unrealistically, I hit $800,000 Backerkit campaign that popped off, and I need to make like 2,000 copies of a book, you know what I mean? Or however many would need, whatever, right? This scope was awesome. Like, I small scope, I set a realistic goal, met the goal, smashed the goal. And yeah, it's, in the future, I guess if I had a bigger team, maybe if like people see the Entropic Isle and kind of want to work with me or something, just throwing it out there, or hire me to do something, hire me and my husband or something, like a team, Ancient Scribbles, yeah, it's been awesome. I completely lost my train of thought. If they hire us, Entropic Isle. Marketing. Yeah, if we had a full team, obviously, if I got hired onto a team and we had a full team or something, we could assign someone. Hey, you do the marketing. Yeah, actually, that's Sin. That's the person working. The person working on the book with me. My artist. I should have just said artist. What the fuck is wrong with me? My artist is my husband. I'm so fucking tired. Oh shit. Oh. But yes, Sin is my husband. Artist. We've been together 15 years this year. Not officially married, actually. I guess it's common law or whatever, or even that. I don't know how that works. Whatever. We've been together 15 years, so I call him my husband. Deal with it. Yeah, that was back in. I'm bad. It's set the 7th month: January, February, March, April, May, June, July. Yeah, 15 years in July. Yeah, that's also been a time, an adventure in and of itself. Uh, yeah, and again, he does amazing work and amazing artist, and yeah, you can see the background image here and all the concept art and whatnot we've put out. Yeah, it's all him. Yeah, and definitely when we get things going, we're gonna be looking to maybe hit up like obviously conventions like GameholeCon, but like maybe even artist conventions like anime or cartoon or whatever. Whatever would have like an artist alley, just to help promote Sin a little bit more. That's not even. I'm not even talking about the Entropic Isle anymore. I'm just talking about Sin as an artist in general. But how that ties into the Entropic Isle is once we have these pieces finished and ready, we'll be able to make prints. And I'm assuming these pieces are going to be gorgeous because, again, he does gorgeous work. And yeah, I can definitely see making prints available and whatnot. And again, this is not as part of the campaign or anything. This has all come later as merch or whatever. But yeah, again, if we can figure out how to like reasonably get them printed and all that stuff, yeah. And Sin has a background in printing. He works at a what is it? Like a shirt printers? I forget what it's called. Printing press. Like he makes shirts. But again, he's done a lot of printing stuff in general, so he knows the term. Yeah, screen printer. He knows the term, and wood burning or screen burning. He does that too. Yeah, but either way, he knows the terminology, where to get good ones done, like how to research this shit well. So if the time does come for prints, they will be very nice prints. Oh, I don't know if I want to do Gen Con. Gen Con is huge. GameholeCon is more of the size that I think we'd be looking at. Oh man, I don't even know if we can get into cons that are that big. Usually the artist alleys and the dealers rooms are like pretty hard to get into for those bigger, unless you have a reputation or whatnot. They can be, one, hard to get into, and then two, expensive, like pretty expensive. We've done quite a few artist alleys in the past. I'm talking like 10 plus years ago. We used to frequent artist alleys on the East Coast. I think I've went to maybe like 4 or 5 of them, just to help them out. Like I would, sell the art, watch the table while he took breaks. And then when he was back, I would go have fun at the arcade because almost every convention has some kind of arcade, and I would play some DDR or whatever rhythm games they had. Oh yeah, no, that would definitely, yeah. I'm actually, for as far as artists are concerned, like people to draw for the book, I'm not worried about having like if for whatever reason Leo or drop his real name on. I don't think that matters. Sin, what you call it? I mean, you guys know my real name, and his real name's probably gonna be in a book anyway. But either way, aside from him, I know a lot of artists who would probably work and do stuff for the book. What you call it? I have 2 people already doing guest spots. One you saw a preview for on the Backerkit campaign page was the Lake Shamblers. That's done by, I'm gonna butcher I should look it up. Martina Litiev. I'm so sorry, Martina and Yuri. That is actually my sister-in-law. That is Sin's sister. She's also a gifted artist, very talented. And oh man, she's like the whole, like the sibling pair, creative dynamite duo, them two. Back in the day, Martina used to make a lot of ceramics. I don't know if she still makes them, but amazing ceramic pieces. And She did a lot of makeup stuff. I'm not talking like, girly, nice, cutesy makeup. I'm talking like gruesome, like movie effect makeup type. We went to this thing called a zombie crawl, and she did a fake scar on the side. I gotta find the picture of that. A fake scar on the side. We actually shaved the whole, like a spot on the side of my head, and she put a realistic looking scar there, and like put, gore and, whatever on my face and lips and eyes or whatever on the sides and whatnot, and the ears, whatever. I looked like a zombie. That wound looked real. It was kind of crazy. And after the zombie walk or zombie crawl, whatever it was, I had to go home, and I was going home alone on the train. And it wasn't Halloween or anything. It was near Halloween, but it wasn't Halloween. So I was stumbling on the train from car to car, just like dead like bumping into poles, like turning into where it doesn't make sense, and like bumping into the walls, and like recorrecting myself. People gave me looks. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. Again, I was by myself. I was not with any friends or anything. Oh man. Oh, I'm a menace. If I could find that photo, I probably could find it really quick. If you're actually interested in that, just message me on Discord or something. I'll find it for you. It's amazing. She did such a good job. Like, damn. People were like giving me that face, like, ooh. Oh man, yeah. But yeah, back to the original point. Martina, excellent guest artist, and we also have another guest artist, Brian Lukito. And Brian's a good friend of mine for many, many years now. We bond over video games a lot. And if you've heard about me not going to GameholeCon this year due to a wedding, it's actually his wedding. I am attending Brian Lukito's wedding. It's literally the next following weekend after Gamehole, and I don't know if I have it in me to do Gamehole and then come back for like 3 days or 4 days and then go right back out on a plane. Yeah. Especially with having to work on the book and all this stuff and trying to get that ready. I have a feeling my energy levels are going to be ooh. And again, I would much rather have the energy levels for my good friend Brian's wedding, because that's only going to happen once. There will be a GameholeCon next year that I can attend. And if hell or high water is going to stop me from going to that one. Because I've missed, this will be the second one now I've missed since starting to go. And it's such a fun time. It's such a good, if you haven't gone to GameholeCon, if you live in the the United States, or if you can make plans to visit the United States, GameholeCon, Chef's Kiss Convention, essentially Montica Games is a huge sponsor for that event. So they actually have a whole like lounge area, like a whole floor for themselves, where they have their merch booth. Instead of it being in the in the merch area with everyone, they have literally their own section in the lounge to sell their stuff. And then in that area, there's also plenty of tables for people to play games, to test games. I believe that area is where they run their games. Like when you sign up to run like a demo or a game for Montica Games, you run it there. If I recall correctly, anyway, I could be way off, man. It's been like 2 years. But it's such a blast. I've never been to PAX U. I have almost all my friends go to PAX U. All my real life friends from New York. A lot of them go, and I haven't gone once. I haven't made plans. Maybe next year, since it'd be a nice way to see them. And now I have this book to maybe push. It would be nice to hit up a couple more conventions, other than just GameholeCon. I could see doing Gamehole and PAX U next year, definitely. That would be nice, actually. Does Montica Games have a presence at PAX? I don't know, actually. I think they do, but I'm actually not 100% sure. Yeah, that's what I've gotten. It's not giganto big, but it's like, I would say like a step bigger than Gamehole. Like just a bit bigger. Not overwhelmingly big, but like you still feel like you're in a convention big. GameholeCon is, again, it's not small. It's a pretty sizable convention. I could not quote numbers for you, but GameholeCon felt like I was like in my backyard at a convention. Like it felt like home. because of like that setup we had with Montague Games, like lounge, and like all the friendly faces who come, like that convention. And again, the size was not overwhelming. Like the lounge is pretty big, but it's not like filled to the brim with people. Like there's enough space to walk around. You can hear people. You might have to talk a bit loud, but you know, in what convention do you not? But yeah, that one, due to like how the whole venue and whatnot is set up, that one felt like I'm at home. Like I'm chilling with my friends. Like we're just, let's go see what everyone else is doing down the block. Like, yeah, the Game Hole Con is that's an experience, a very, very nice experience, and I miss that experience, and I'm sad that I'm not going this year, and looking forward to going next year. Yeah, and again, to go back, I guess, to the original point, just conventions as a whole are a lot of fun. Like going to the artist alleys with Sin back in the day in anime or whatever conventions, comic book conventions. The vibe is always electric. Like people are excited. They want to talk about their favorite things. And generally speaking, if you're there, you usually enjoy some of the things they enjoy, so you get to geek out with a bunch of people that like the same thing. I think Dean and Spigs are both going to Game Hole. I believe Eileen is going. I think that's it. Eileen Barnes is a golden one on the server. I believe she and her husband, they usually go. I believe they're going again this year. And I'm sure if you ask on the server, like if you just like go into the convention channel and say, hey, who's going to Game Hole Con? If you're talking about CU representation, what you call it, as far as like golden ones and what you call it, you know, me, Dean, Anthony go, I think it's just them three. I could be wrong. But then if you look at the server as a whole, like the community, a ton of people from the community go. We even have a guy who comes from Europe somewhere. I think Germany. I could be wrong. Christian. He was awesome to meet. It was a blast, like showing him around and like, you know, and yeah, another amazing thing about Game Hole Con, or I guess, you know, cons, if you go and you meet us, like me, Dean, Anthony specifically, I don't want to speak for anyone else, but if you're going to Game Hole or any con and you don't feel really like comfortable, you don't know anybody, you feel a little awkward maybe, come up to one of us three. Talk to us. You see how we are on the stream. We're like this in real life. This is not a mask or like a facade. We are just like this. We are flamboyant, exorbitant, extra, welcoming, nice, whatever you get from us here on the screen is probably how we'll be in person. So if you've seen our videos and you find yourself again at a convention, a role-playing game convention, anyone that we happen to be at, and again you're awkward, whatever, come meet us. Come say hi. We'll make sure you get comfortable. We'll we'll have a good time. We'll check out the convention. We'll run games, play games, check out games, whatever. Right? We'll have a good time. It's so especially at Game Hole Con, it's so fun. There were just people just sitting around talking about stuff, like not even like again in the lounge area where again there were literally our couches in a corner, and people were just sitting around chit chatting, like they weren't busy with a game, they weren't busy, you know, traversing the merch hall or the other events. They were just sitting down and chatting, like about their games, about themselves, about you know what friends talk about. And again, that's what made it again feel a lot like home. Like I was just right here down the block. Was everyone was just being so friendly about it and nice, and yeah, it really, again, I can't endorse Game Hole Con enough. I know we're going to talk about the Entropic Isle, and I haven't even talked about that in a while. But yeah, Game Hole Con is awesome. And definitely not for this Game Hole Con, but maybe for next Game Hole Con, we'll have copies of the Entropic Isle there. I actually don't. Just to go back to talking about this a little bit more. I don't want to go look at numbers specifically now, but I think we're looking at about 105-ish physical copies made, or that need to be produced. which I can see us ordering or getting to order maybe somewhere between, again, depends on a range of things. We still haven't even settled on a printer yet. We have two contenders, but we got to talk to them a little bit more. Depending on what you call it, those factors, we could have upwards of 50 extra copies or 140 extra copies, depending on the printer. It would be awesome to have that much to be like, hey, I can sell this, I can show this off to people, I can put it on a website to sell. But that's a lot of books to hold on to. I guess 140 books would just be like a box or so not too bad. But yeah, I definitely do, regardless of how many I end up with, I do want to have a few extra for the purposes of bringing to a convention, to maybe sell or just to show off or whatever, right? So everyone who pledges will get their physical copy, or pledges for a physical copy will get it, and then hopefully we'll have enough. We should have enough to have extra copies produced, again, to bring to conventions, to list online, so on and so forth. The exact number, though, don't know. So if you're on the fence, now with 13 minutes left is a great time to do that. Be back at now. You also get it cheaper. I believe once we go to the store, after it's all produced and printed and all that, the book is going to cost $40. I forget what I wrote in the Backerkit. Don't quote me or look at the Backerkit. Whatever. I'm tired as fuck. But yeah, it's definitely cheaper to get either the PDF or the physical book right now. And just if you haven't seen the link, here it is again. Yeah, again, I don't think in these last 12 minutes we're gonna make $289, and it is what it is. And again, this has been wildly successful in my eyes. I thought I was barely gonna fund. Come this mark, I thought we would be counting down with like 2750 on the bench. Like, oh please, someone's just let us get there. But we smashed that in 30 hours. That's remarkable. Like, and again, considering this is my first project, basically doing it almost all by myself with, help here and there with, certain things. This has been a wild success in my eyes. Wild. And it'll be a, even more success. Like right now it's a success, I guess. It'll be a wild success, quote unquote, once books are actually in people's hands. Like, that's when I'll say, hey, I did my job. People got their books. Right now, I'm on the way. This has been an awesome experience so far, but not awesome job done yet. We're getting there. But things are going well, like super well. The book's like 95% done. Again, I like to be transparent. Like, mostly what needs to be done is artifacts, ciphers, and cursed artifacts. I need to make, I think, 8 each of those. And those kind of flow. Like, again, I talked about this earlier about my creative process. Like, I'll be in the mood to write something and they'll just flow out of me like, we're just knocking this out the park. That hasn't really happened with the artifacts and ciphers yet. There are 4 of each of those things in the playtest document. So there's 4 ciphers, 4 artifacts, 4 cursed artifacts that you'll get to play with that are, they're unique to this book, brand new, that I wrote. And you're most likely not wrong, Zeal. I don't know the different types of writers, but that sounds like me. I had mentioned it earlier, like, I actually learned a lot about how, like, my writing process works, because this is, like, again, my first big project. I've never really done anything like this. As much as I've had ideas or anything, like, the first big idea before this was Home, Hearth, and Harvest, which was like a Stardew Valley type cipher system supplement, which I will most likely still revisit now that I have all this experience, but it's a bigger scope, so I didn't want to tackle it first. But yeah, as I'm learning about my writing process is separating by chapters and sections or whatever, right? Or mechanics, whatever, like what needs to, in my mind anyway, right? I can figure out, hey, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to do that, right? It makes a checklist in my mind, and I didn't even actually make a physical checklist. It was more of like I have a easy time tracking things up here, but I did eventually make an actual checklist. But it let me see, like, hey, I can really knock out things when I have the urge to. I can't sit down for a day and say, hey, today I'm going to write artifacts. If I don't have the fire or urge to write that, it's not going to come out well. I'm not going to like what I'm writing. It's just not going to flow. This is most readily seen in 2 areas right now. In that area, the artifact cipher, so forth. You see they're incomplete. I have 4 of each right now. It should be 12. And then if you see the one shot, once you get your hands on the playtest document, that I wrote all in like a day too. I was like, you know what? All the ideas for these items and sections are always floating around in here, but at a certain time, they'll bubble to the top and it'll be time to get them out onto the page, paper, whatever, screen. And that happened with the one shot. It was like, oh shit, I can get that. Oh, I can need to write that, this, that, boom, 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 boom. Gets knocked out. Then I go back and revisit it, made sure I wrote things right, whatever. And then awesome Ked Hub went and did an editing pass on, the whole book. So that was awesome of him. He's amazing. But yeah, and as each section gets knocked out, that satisfies me mentally, and then I know I can focus on the other things. Like that doesn't even have to occupy my mental space anymore. I knocked it out. Then it's time for the next section that bubbles to the top. Hopefully that happens soon for the artifact ciphers and whatnot. Because I will say, and I don't want to put words in their mouths, but Anthony and Dean are both quite good at writing those kinds of things. If I find myself in a pickle, I'm struggling, I can tap on their shoulders and be like, hey guys, what you got? What you got for me? What you call it? Yeah, it's, but yeah, what I have so far as those items are concerned, I think they're really fun. And you'll see with cursed artifacts, they can be quite powerful. I previewed them a little bit during one of the solo plays. I didn't actually use any of them because I'm so terrible to my solo play characters. They just never they never get strong stuff. Mostly because I forget about them. But yeah, they suffer because of me. But I'm looking forward to see how people feel about cursed artifacts and about the enchantment table and all the newer things I'm doing with the system and how I'm changing things. But again, if you've played Merkborg and you like Merkborg, or if you've read it and like it, you'll love this. You'll love it. It's basically if Cypher System and Merkborg said, and that's what this is. At least like gameplay wise. Setting wise, it's like if Merkborg and Got to the Fall went, I'm so fucking tired. I'm sorry. Oh shit. 5 minutes left though, thankfully, and then we can sign off. And the funniest part, I'm gonna upload this to YouTube unedited. Like y'all get to see this. Because I will say that my little monologue I had in the beginning before really anyone showed up, I liked it. Like I didn't have anything written down or anything, so I was obviously just coming up with stuff to talk about. But I talked about a lot about my learning process and what I've learned about myself, and how I felt, I guess, about the whole process of doing the Backerkit and making the book and whatnot. I thanked some people, I believe. Yeah, it's been amazing. This has been a hell of a time, hell of a journey, hell of an experience. I'm very much looking forward to holding the Entropic Isle physically in my hand. And I will say this is a funny just side note. I did not expect so many people to want a signed copy. I think we got like 33 people who want a signed, like, autographed version. Cool. Awesome. And I guess something worth noting, because a lot of people didn't notice or didn't click into it, you also get a little doodle with your autograph. So either Sin or I will drop a little doodle with the autograph. So we had a signature from me and Sin, and then a little doodle from one of us. It was only going to be Sin, but due to the amount of people who requested it, I'm gonna chip in and doodle on a couple. Yeah, it was quite unexpected. Hey, Aloof. And as far as follow-up products, I will be honest, not really. I spoke about this. I forget when. When was this? Oh, I think it was just in DM with Sigil Sanct, or Sigil Sanct, excuse me, with Sigil. They assumed I would be making a series of books due to how I phrase something on the Backerkit. I believe in the Ancient Sin Scribble section, I wrote that, me and Sin are looking forward to producing more unique, vibrant books, or whatever the verbiage was, I forget, but it implied we'd be making more books, which we do. We want to make more books. We for sure want to make more books. But Sigil was under the impression that we'd be making more Entropic Isle books, like a series of books, like more stuff, which didn't even register to me. I did not think of that. I did not at all think of that. Again, if it pops off popularity-wise and people are like hankering for more and like dying for more, maybe, I guess. But I have so many, like you heard earlier, my Home Hearth, I've already blanked on the name, Home, Hearth, and Harvest. And that's just one of like 6 book ideas I want to write. And 3 of those 6 ideas are already partially written. And I feel like they're going to be a lot of fun to visit. So what I might do, and again, this won't be anything concrete or set in stone. Oh shit, we're at the second mark, 108 seconds. But either way, I might put out a survey asking, hey, what would you like to see Ancient Sin Scribbles tackle next? And maybe, another Entropic Isle book will be on the list. But that'll give us a good idea of where people might want us to put our efforts, Because right now we got, again, Home, Hearth, and Harvest, which that's like 80% written, maybe even more. And that's like Stardew Valley, so has rules for relationships, like building friendly relationships and romantic relationships. Actually, I think I only have it set to romance. But, you would only be trying to romance. Either way, we could change that. But there's rules for that. There's rules for maintaining the farm. So, like, building it up, what it costs to build it, like material-wise. Seasonal information, like what grows well during what seasons. All the stuff you would see in that kind of game. And I also have a Darkest Dungeon idea, which is again like 80-90% written, actually more like 70 probably. And that is a whole thing where what you see in Darkest Dungeon, you have like Hamlet that you have to build up, you have to maintain the facilities to make them stronger, and then you delve into dungeons to look for more resources. You come back and hopefully alive. You're riddled with maladies. I could see that being maybe an add-on for the Entropic Isle, actually. Let's not rule that out. That could definitely be like a Entropic Isle adjacent, because it is that gritty, like, you could die any moment feeling type thing. Dark fantasy even. But hey, it ended. $57.11. Thank you everyone out there who backed us. Thank you Cypher Unlimited community for promoting us. Thank you Sin for agreeing to do this craziness with me. Thank you everyone out there. This has been a wonderful journey, but we're not done yet. Now comes the harder part of making the actual book. But we already have several, we're in smooth sailing, I think. And with Sin on my side, I have a lot of confidence in the printed product because, as I mentioned earlier, Sin has quite a few, or quite a bit of printing knowledge already from his Artist Alley experience, and then from working at screen printers. Like he kind of knows this stuff, you know, and he's good at research. So not only do I have a fantastic and talented artist, I also do have a wonderful person here with me for the production aspect, for the actual physical book getting into your hands. It's gonna be amazing. I am so, again, I don't want to overhype it. I'm just super excited to see like what it ends up looking like in person. And if you've seen the, you've seen a bunch of the, previews on the Backerkit page, so you have an idea of the aesthetic that's gonna, flow from the book. It's just so nice being able to produce something like this. And again, if this had failed, that would not have prevented the book from coming out. Just the physical book, we still would have done a PDF. This still would have been entering people's homes. But now it gets to enter people's homes in a nice, pretty A5 hardback book. Yeah, I'm super, and thank you for the compliments on the cover, and the congrats on the campaign, and yeah, thank you guys so much. Sin whipped up that book mock-up maybe 2 days ago. Super late, but it is quite nice looking, and it will give us like a nice template going forward, like when we go to make more books. Also nice, for, I guess to maybe show the people who print it, but yeah, Sin will be helping a great deal in that regards. So yeah, unless anybody has any more questions, I think we're good to wrap up here. Aloof, I forget, are you still here? Are you still around? Did you see the coding thing I made? I'm gonna show it off one more time because I'm so proud of that thing. I forget when you showed up, or if you're even still here. That thing, I'll show it off one again. Let me show it. Oh, so yeah, I took one day. This has been a huge learning experience. I took one day when I was feeling overwhelmed with book stuff, and I was like, I'm gonna learn to code. I'm gonna learn how to code a random generator, just a simple one, something that picks things off a list and then displays it. And with zero coding knowledge, I went with ChatGPT, YouTube, and my good friend Mohammed, and I made this. It took 6 to 8 hours of work, and yeah, so now we can randomly generate characters. Again, it's gonna be awesome for solo play. You can generate adventures, creatures, and NPCs, all for the click of a button. And again, this was from zero coding knowledge. I knew I had the idea in my head that I wanted to work on something like that, to learn how to do it one day. And again, like I was talking about the writing, the urge to do it was at the top, and I was feeling a bit overwhelmed with the book stuff. I was like, I'm gonna just learn how to code today. I'm just gonna, we're gonna do that. Even if I never distribute it, it'll be awesome for solo play, which I plan to do a lot with the Entropic Isle. I might even do some as soon as we sign off of here, honestly, because I need something to unwind. And it would be nice to play the game instead of working on it, for today. Then tomorrow we dive right back into working on it. And then getting it distributed via the pledge manager and whatnot. The playtest document, I should say. Hey, Anthony, thank you. We're about to wrap up the stream, though. Funny enough. Yeah, I only wanted to... it's don't even sweat it, man. Very AA looking generator. Yeah. And again, this, I didn't get it to look pretty. Like, I got it to a functional point. I got it looking color in theme with the book. But then that's it. Like, I feel like I could probably add images or like a background, at least get the text centered properly, like on the other parts of the generator, like on this part, like bring it down a bit. But it's functional. It's black and pink, which is the book's aesthetic. So, and it works. I'm just amazed I got it to work. Again, huge. I was stuck at one part to make it work. And my friend Mohammed, he worked with me for like maybe 30 minutes to an hour. He helped me get from that unfunctioning aspect to functioning. Like, he was able to point out, hey, what I was missing, what I was like. You know, he gave me a couple of videos to look at. Did you try this? Did you try that? And yeah, that was more than enough to get me into functional, and it was awesome. And now it's working. And now, yeah, again, once it's working, can fiddle with. Once I get the urge to, again, I can go and make it look pretty and professional, and then share it around, whatever. But right now, just happy it works, and happy, you know, again, I've been loving all the learning I've been doing as part of this campaign, not just with the book, but again with like making assets like the ad I made, you know, and also the generator, and setting up a Backerkit page and all that. Like, it's all been an awesome learning experience. But before I talk myself hoarse, I think I'm gonna get out of here. I've been solo talking for an hour and 5 minutes at this point. In 1 second. And before I sign off of here, yeah, look forward to seeing that pledge manager coming out in the coming days. I got to get reviewed by Backerkit before it actually is okay to go live, you know, to push it out to get information and whatnot. I'm just saying it here. If you got a physical thing, you are not going to be charged for shipping now. It will be collected along with your shipping info later. The first wave of surveys is just going to be about your digital rewards. So your playtest document, and then eventually your PDF, like what emails you want to send it to. And then down the road, either, you know, at the end of the year, or more realistically, middle of January, we'll send out another survey with, hey, we need your shipping info, we need your shipping fees. So yeah, they're separate. Just be aware. I added that to the FAQ, and I will make it abundantly clear in all aspects that it is going to be coming separately. You'll be charged for what you pledged for, you'll get your digital rewards, and then later on, we do shipping. You'll send us your shipping info, you'll pay for shipping, and that'll come later, outside of your pledge payment. But yeah, this has been a great talk. Thank you so much, everyone who stopped by to chat. Other Doc, Aloof, and Sigil. I want to thank everybody. I got to scroll up. Zeal. Sorry, I'm exhausted. I think that's everybody who said something. I'm scrolling up all the way to the top because I'm thanking everybody. Yep, that's everybody. That's everybody who came. So thank you guys so much for coming to talk about it, counting down the hour with me. Now I can take a breather for the rest of the evening until it's time to dive right back in tomorrow and getting things situated so we can get that playtest document in your hands ASAP. But I will say, this has been awesome, and I'm looking forward to hearing feedback on the book so I can better it. And yeah, I'm looking forward to making the best book I can possibly make for you guys. And now, time to go have some dinner and a nap and maybe some solo play. But yes, if you want to continue talking, I'll be available on Discord. You can hit me up on the either in general in DMs, or we can talk about the Entropic Isle within the Entropic Isle channel on there. I'll definitely be open to talking about people's experiences, like how they're doing and whatnot, but there will be a formal survey way down the line, maybe a month after people get their playtest documents, to see what are actual, real responses. But I definitely would like to hear about it before then, so come talk about it on Discord. And I'm going to segue this into our little closing spiel. And if Discord's not for you, join our Facebook group. It's not as big as our Discord group, but there's always discussions being had there, and another lovely place to meet other fellow Cypher heads. And if be sure to follow us here on Twitch, and if you don't want to follow us on our Twitch, go to subscribe to us over on YouTube. Either or, both helps our channel greatly, and we really appreciate all the support we've gotten so far. And our videos will always be free, but if you can find it in the goodness of your heart to give us a little donation on Ko-Fi, or Ko-Fi, however it's pronounced, we use those things, or we use that stuff for things like Discord Nitro boosts to maintain the maximum quality voice channels on our server, as well as for giveaways and things of the like. And if that's not your thing, you can also buy some cool Cypher Unlimited merch on the channel there, and be on the lookout for Entropic Isle merch. Once art assets start getting completed, I will be looking to maybe put them on shirts and prints and whatnot. Yeah, we're gonna be putting at least a couple things out there. I think I hit all the marks. Oh, I guess Entropic Isle, just check it out if you haven't yet. It's already over. But yeah, definitely come check it out, see if it has your interest. And yeah, I think I will find a way. I think there's a pre-order store I can set up so people who didn't get in here can still get in. But something else I still got to look into, set up, and that will happen for AncientAlbatross tomorrow. That is problem for tomorrow me. But I think that's it. So thank you again, everybody, for stopping by, and thank you everyone who backed the campaign. Is to infinity and beyond. Oh man, I need some sleep. Yeah. So from us, take care. Thank you, and from us at the CU, we will see you later.